if Jeff don't shut when it comes time to tribal and all these competitions, you are going to be getting an immunity idol. But what comes with that immunity idol?
An immunity idol.
And yes, an immunity idol, an immunity, whatever, same idol that's going to save your life, whatever idol it is, okay?
All right, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to the Royalty, aka on the Heavy Crown Network. I am your host, Big D, aka Derek F. from Big Brother 23, and we have...
I am your host, Tiffany Mitchell, Big Brother 23, the Challenge USA 1 and 2, Heavy Crown Network, and the Royalty.
Oh, Tiffany, I am so glad that it's just us. We're closing out Survivor finally. You can now go on vacation. You can't say that I am working you to death. Even though I know you love being here.
I love being here. I do.
Good. Okay, so before we start, guys, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. From the Heavy Crown Network, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy whatever you celebrate, okay?
Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holiday, just happy, peace, love, joy to your lives. Yep.
Yes. From us. Now, let's get into it. We're in part 2 of Survivor. Tiffany, before I start, what's your thoughts, on this season's, overall? Or you want to save it for the end?
I will come back to my thoughts, but I'll start by saying that I'm fairly new to Survivor, and I've only been watching for the last few years, but this has been one of my favorite seasons to watch so far, but I won't speak prematurely because I still need to get to the end of this game to know if I really like it a lot, if it's going to go on my top, or if it's going to just rank as I loved watching it, but I hated it at the end. So
I love how you said it's going to go on my top. I will say this is probably, I enjoy watching this season with you. It's been really fun, and I love your take on everything because, I'm always looking at it here where you're all the way back here, looking at it from behind and, afar. So I'm very thankful to have...
I'm up in the sky watching.
Yeah. Yes, come on, big brother. So, I just love your take on everything because it really made me look at the game different. But let's get into it. So, guys, we're episode 14, The Last Stand, final part 2.
Stop this.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. We have the people that are left are Sue, Teeny, Sam, and Rachel. We are down to our final 4. I don't know if in the beginning of this game that I would have saw Sue at the end. For some reason, I would have saw Sue. Yeah, I saw Sue at the end. I did not expect Teeny, and I did not expect Sam or Rachel based on how the game was in the beginning. I would have thought it was Sue. Some type of way it would have been Kyle. And then I would have said probably Genevieve because of the way that she was playing. So I would have thought those 3. I don't know who the 4th would have been. Immunity is up for grab. This is the last immunity challenge. This challenge had involvement of, once again, as I always like to call it, an obstacle course. And then through an obstacle course, there's a, got to get the ball. What's the tip? It was the ball was it caught on the rope?
Yeah, and they had to work it down through. It's always some kind of puzzle. It's a 4-layered immunity challenge. You got to get from one step to the next step. And the one thing I do think about this final 4 is you really don't know who to expect to win because Sue's won in challenges that we didn't expect her to win. Teeny, not so much, but she's not too far behind. And then there's Rachel and Sam who are always in neck and neck with each other. So I think that in what I've learned when we play these games, when you take the distractions away and you can just focus, you'll see a person grow throughout the season because you might come in a little rocky, but the longer you're there and you're playing and you get used to what to expect and the performance anxiety kind of wears off, people get better at these challenges. And so I don't know what to say besides this is a great Final Four.
This is a great Final Four. I'm gonna kind of get, not all the way in it, but I'm gonna say Sam starts off strong. Sam is kicking ass in this challenge. He is beasting through this, and
Sam does well under pressure. When Sam's back is against the line, which his against the wall, which his back has been against the wall primarily for the most part of this game, he gives it his all. There's two kinds of people. There are people who get in their head about something, and when the pressure hits, like they just get into their head and succumb to the pressure. And then there are those that pressure busts pipes. And Sam is one of those people who, when his back is against the wall, he comes out fighting really strong.
Yeah, he really did, Tip. I was like, whoa, like he might win this. So Sam takes off running. He's going. He's already probably at the puzzle, and everybody else is like still trying to get through the obstacle. But then here comes, good old Rachel. Now Rachel from Southfield. Rachel, I will say this, based on her position in this game, she has to win this. If she does not win this, even though how badly I know you love her, we want her to win, as a player in the game, I'm taking out Rachel. Like, there's no else saying, yeah, if you want this money, you gotta take her out. So she knows she has to win this. So it comes down to like if I'm correct, it was like a puzzle. We had to figure out the word. Was it like a certain word you had to figure out?
No, the puzzle it's like a bat and it's hanging upside down.
Yeah, but before they got to the bat, wasn't it like a word?
Oh, to unlock. Oh, okay.
To unlock.
So there's, how they go on the journey and then they have to solve a puzzle, and sometimes it's a number puzzle, but this time it's a word puzzle. And then once you get the words, you get to pull your stick out, get your key, unlock your thing. And this time it's a word. Sam gets his word immediately. The word is unlocked, and then he covers it up. And then Rachel's oh, you think Rachel got hers first?
No. Sam got his first.
Yeah, Sam got
which
his
I
first.
was shocked.
Then Rachel gets the word, but she doesn't cover it up.
No.
So then Teeny sees it, and then Rachel covers it up. But then Teeny's working on hers, and poor Sue, is just, I was wondering, like, can you just go over, lift somebody's cover up and look at their puzzle? Because then at that point, at the end, I'm cheating my ass off. I would have walked over there and listened. I don't care if you covered it. What did we say? Okay. And then I'm running back. But Sue was working this puzzle, and I'm like, and at home, you're going, girl, it's unlocked. It's unlocked. It's unlocked. Yeah. But in the moment, they're still trying to figure it out. And so Sue was last solving that part, but Sam was first, and Sam's up there working on his puzzle.
On his bat puzzle, as you said before, Tiffany, it was a bat. So it was very interesting because I was like, what is this puzzle? At first, I thought it was a spaceship. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was a spaceship. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
Stick with the theme.
I was so
They're not
wrong.
in New Jersey. They don't know about the UFOs. They haven't happened yet. This is pre-filmed. It's not a spaceship. It's not a UFO.
I thought it was a spaceship, the way it was building. But Sam does take off with a great, great lead. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Rachel is now caught up to Sam, but she's still behind. And one thing that Rachel is known for and good for is puzzles. So Rachel is like, she also takes a page out of everybody else's book and starts looking at Sam's. And it's like, oh, let me hold on. Let me see.
Because there's no time for stutter stepping. You have to, these people are good. Sam is always on top of his game, which means that if Rachel is on top of her game, she's got to elevate her game just to stay ahead of Sam.
I agree with that. That's why I was kind of like, whoa. So Sam is like taking off, but Rachel ends up, I don't know how, but catching Sam, and then ends up almost, she gets it, but then Jeff goes, up.
There's a piece
wrong. There's a piece wrong. And we could all see it at home. We could all see it clear as day.
Y'all could. I couldn't.
Oh, you could tell it was the ear. The ear was off.
I did figure it out. Yeah. Before she figured it out, I did figure it out. But not like immediately.
Yeah, and the one thing I like about Rachel, she like takes a second. She takes a step back. Yeah. And this is something that you talked about, and I think either last week's episode or the episode before. Just breathing, taking a second, take a breath, ignore everything around you.
Don't let that panic take over.
Yeah.
A
And
lot
people
of
do that in the
times we
game.
get impatient. We are in a rush. We are pressed for time. So the impatience, it affects our anxiety. And then we start doing things. That's how you make mistakes. She has this uncanny ability to calm herself and see things clearly. And I think that's the only time you really can see things clearly is when you relax, turn off the noise, shut your nerves down, and just look at what you see and not listen to what you hear. And she's really good at that.
Yeah, you're right. She's very good at that. Like I was taken back because I was like, I would have been, if Jeff would have told me it's not right, I would have been like, what? You know, you would have started freaking out. You would start taking pieces off. You would have started flipping things. Like she just took a breath and she ends up winning, which is great. And now we know Rachel is going to the final. She decides who is going to be making that final. I mean, who's going to be making that fire and who she's going to be taking with her. And it was just such a good moment. I don't know if you felt the same way I felt, Tiff. I just felt so like, oh, thank God.
I teared up. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what it is about my affinity for Rachel, but I feel like I'm watching a friend, somebody I care about, somebody I love. Like I'm willing and pushing for her as if like I genuinely know her. Like I really want her in this moment to just feel the gratefulness that she is in this moment. I am just like, I'm overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, yes, I'm so happy for her, almost like it's me. I'm like, oh my God, yes, thank you. Like I don't know. I was emotional, to say the least, when she won immunity.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that same feeling, and I think it's because of the fact that we have watched Rachel. When you watch somebody go from the bottom to like almost out twice, 3 times, then working their game and then end up making it to the end and like and able to win that last immunity, it's just like wow, because her back was against the wall. People were against her, but she's not like a Kyle, where like if Kyle, who was winning and winning and winning and winning, if he was someone they were all targeting, I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be like, yeah, let's get Kyle out. But I think it's her story.
It is. I'm always a person who like roots for the underdog, and I think it's just like natural. People like a winning, a compelling. We like to see people make a comeback, but it's a little different. It's not like watching her as an underdog just finally do something. It is watching her as an underdog and seeing the elevation of her game and the turn of events in her game, and seeing her get to this point of securing herself in the final 3, not just necessarily because she was an underdog or because I want to see it, but because she actually has been putting in the work to get to this point. So she is deserving of this. Sometimes, like, you cheer for an underdog, and I'm not going to say they deserve it or they don't, but maybe someone else has been working harder to get to that point, but you just want to see this person beat that person who's been working so hard. Rachel has an underdog story, and she's been working hard, and it's not undeserving of her in this moment to win this immunity challenge.
Yes, it was well deserved, and that was well put the way you put it, Tiffany. That's exactly how. If anybody needs to know what they were feeling, Tiffany just broke it down, because that's exactly why we felt the way we felt. I just want to cut to it because we don't really got a lot. I want to cut to when we get back to camp. But Sam does kind of calls out. I mean, Tandy calls out Sam for being arrogant. Like the way that he was explaining, like he
wait,
can't.
back up. Before she calls him out for being arrogant, they're in the water. How the conversation about his arrogance comes up is they're in the ocean, and Teeny, they're all talking about they're going to go down and get cleaned up, and Teeny says, well, when we come back up, can we talk about like possibly what's going to happen? And Rachel unexpectedly to me, she just says, well, I can just tell. And that's the one thing I love about Rachel is her transparency. She doesn't have anything in her game that she's like tricky. She's not trying to trick anyone. She's just being herself. And I think that is what I actually appreciate and respect about her. But she says, I can just tell you what's going to happen. You and Sam are going to make fire. Teeny, Sue's coming with me, and you and Sam are going to make fire. And then Sam has this, oh, you're going to let me make fire? All right, cool. I'm going to make fire. And immediately Teeny, and this is kind of the experience that I've seen with Teeny, her emotions immediately rise to the surface and they come out. And you can tell, one, she's annoyed that she's got to go make fire. Two, she's annoyed that it's against Sam. Three, she's annoyed that Sam is not bothered by the fact that he has to go make fire. And four, Sam is not bothered by the fact that he has to make fire against Teeny. So she's just feeling like she's been this non-threatening factor in this game. And it doesn't take long to come out. And she's just like, you don't have to be so arrogant about it, Sam. And he's like, arrogant about what? You don't have to be so arrogant that you get to make fire.
I get what you're saying, but I also saw it a different way.
Okay.
And because Sam felt very like, because he wasn't condescending. It was very like, little arrogant. Like it was a little sassy, a little arrogant, a little bit. Because of the way that he reacted. Instead of just being like, like how he was showing later on, like, damn, I can't really make fire. I'm not really good at fire. Like,
so you felt like he should have showed his cards and just been like, oh, damn, I can't make fire. So he should have felt like he was going to suck at it.
Didn't he also say in that moment that, like, he can't make fire? Like, even when he was being a little bit like, I guess I'm going to go, make fire.
Well, that was after Teeny said you don't have to be so arrogant. And then he's like, I'm actually not even being arrogant. I can't even make fire. I think it was just the way he said it. I can't lie. I would have, and that's the thing about these shows. And that's the thing about having all these different personalities. He could have been like how you just picked up. He was just saying his piece, right? But maybe because I think he did come off a little cocky with it, but I think that's game.
And that's okay.
Am I supposed to let you know that I'm insecure about making fire when I know I have to go make fire?
No, but I think also what I was going to say was, damn, I lost my thought. What I was going to say was, no, it was me. No, you didn't do nothing. Tiff, I interrupt you 365 days a year. I think it's okay if you interrupt me any other time. You can interrupt me all you want. I think, but I will say this. I think because of the fact that in that moment, he was being, like how you said, a little cocky. So Teeny can say, yeah, he's arrogant. Like, that's the same kind of thing. Like, that's what she picked up on. Instead of calling him cocky, she was like, you ain't got to be arrogant about it. And she picked up on it. And, I understand. Teeny is very emotional. Teeny is also lost in this game. Teeny is still on day one at this point, okay? So it's just a lot to take in. But I do have to agree with her being like, you ain't got to be arrogant about it.
And I, on the other side of that, as a player, I agree with Sam. If I know I don't know how to do something and I know I am about to be challenged to do it, my strategy is to get into the head of the person that I am about to compete with. And I want you to be scared shitless to make fire against me. And I want you to think that I know how to make fire. So I am going to appear to be arrogant about it because I don't want you to be so sure of yourself. I want you to go into this challenge being very unsure. Sam knew when he was called to make fire, he did not know how to make fire. And so was he supposed to go, fuck, I lost. Well, Teeny, I guess you won. No, he was supposed to make Teeny feel exactly how Teeny felt.
And he did.
That was a good game move to me.
Game, respect, game. I'm just saying, like, Teeny being emotional, I don't think in that moment was emotional. He's being cocky, you being cocky. Mm-hmm. You being arrogant. And that's what I was agreeing with. But I don't think that he should have fell on the sword and been like, oh, I don't know how to make fire, guys. I don't know what to do.
He did exactly what he wanted. He got into Teeny's head, and he knew that would make Teeny emotional, and it worked. Yeah. So her being emotional was exactly what his intentions were to do. And it's so
Okay.
easy. It's like when I know your card and I know how to pull it, I'm just going to pull it. And that's what he did. He's like, oh, okay, I got to pull Teeny's card. And she fell right into his hand. Oh, you don't have to get so embarrassed or arrogant. And he was like, thank you. It worked. Now you bothered. Because he was bothered.
Oh, yeah,
So he's like, okay, at least we both bothered.
Yep, now we both bothered. But I do appreciate this. Guess what? Rachel going, I'm going to teach you how to do fire, Teeny. Come on, let me teach you what I need to do because I need you to make sure you go. Because Rachel doesn't want to sit next to Sam. It seems like Sam is the only other person she sees in this game that's a threat that could win. So we do cut to, which, I'm going to get right to it. We get to Tribal.
Well, we watch Sam try to make his so Rachel does help Teeny with her fire, and Teeny needs the little tips, and Rachel does help her with some tips along the way, like do it this way, strike this way, and Teeny ends up getting it. Sam is struggling. Sam genuinely does not know how to make fire. He is having a very tough time, and you can see the frustration. And he cuts to his green screen, and you can tell he's like, I feel defeated, but I'm not going to be defeated. I've not allowed myself to be defeated in this game. I'm still here, so I'm going to give it my all. Surprisingly, Sue is watching him, giving him a few tips, and he's taking them, and they're working for him. He gets a little rhythm in his fire making, but it does appear that he's a little behind Teeny's skill set for making fire. And to be honest, they both seem to suck at making fire. There's no clear shot for anyone in this fire making challenge based on their practice sessions that we're seeing. So we get to Tribal now.
We get to Tribal. Of course the jury comes out. And it's time to make this fire. Okay? It is time to make this fire. And I am confident. Actually, I'm not confident. Going into this, I'm thinking, Sam could pull it out, okay? He practiced. He did have his moment of, I read my dad's card or brother's card or whatever, and it motivated me to keep on going, okay? So he had that story. Production was good with setting up that edit.
One thing I want to say before you get into them making fire is I like that Rachel says to the jury, because we've seen in previous Survivor finales when it comes down to fire that the person who has won immunity has been like, I'm going to go and make fire against this person and get this person out. And Rachel knows that she is better at either one of them than making fire. And in certain cases that has impressed the jury. Like, okay, you don't even have to do this, but to get your target out, you're not going to risk it. And so we respect that. And Rachel does make the announcement that I don't think I need to overprove what I can do in this game. I have already shown you what I'm capable of. And so I am going to sit back and send Sam and Teeny to fire. And the jury was like, we understand. Respectfully,
because I think when your game is that well, and you know where.
Look at the muscles. Look at the muscles. I'm sorry. Look at that baby cut. I see the cut. Oh. Got that muscle shirt on. Put your arms back. Oh, y'all got to tune in. If you're just listening to this on the audio, please go to YouTube, Heavy Crown Network at the Royalty Podcast and see Big D's muscles coming in. Go on, put your arms back like this again. What was they? I'm sorry. Look at him blushing, turning red. I said he looked like little Mr. T with a tank top on. Put your arms back there one more time for me. Give you all this.
I can't.
Yeah. Somebody screenshot that for me.
Get out of my face, Tiffany.
Look at him.
I do have to agree with
you. All slim and stuff.
I do have to agree with
what
you
said. Look at that neck.
I'm done with you today.
Got the cuts coming in them arms, look at them shoulders.
We gotta get this done. You gotta fight the catch.
Okay, sorry. I got excited.
So I do agree with you when it comes to the jury. Like, when you know your game is like, I don't need to prove nothing to you guys. I did everything. Y'all seen it. I was a
of you.
part of it. Oh, thank you, Tiff. Thank you. I'm
You're
excited.
So handsome.
I
Look
know.
at
I'm very
you.
excited to do my little video of my before and after on Monday. So
You
I'm
look
excited.
good. You look
Thank
really
you.
good, dear.
I don't know if I'm going to hit my number. I'm working hard, but I feel like I see it in other places, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best to get to that 335, but if not, I'll get it next month. I can't do
Okay, you're
about
working really hard, and it's coming when it's supposed to come. Because
Thank you.
you know you might get cocky out here and be like, "I'm a bad bitch."
Tim, yeah. I just, you know, and you've been through this. You have been. I don't think people understand it, but you have been through this. Sorry, we're taking a survivor break. You have really been through this with me since we got out the Big Brother house. But this year especially, you know, I know you went through a tough time with Sherry and everything that you went through. And I told you, I feel like you did a turncoat after that. And I feel like this year was my year of hitting my turncoat. And you have been through me with the bickering, the bitching, the moaning, the stress, the anxiety, the crazy hours, the working with my schedule, keeping me motivated mentally. Like, I don't think you understand mentally, this is no joke. Like, when you're going through I'm not trying to get emotional, but when you're going through,
it's okay. You've been working hard, and nobody knows how you feel, but you are so motivated to better yourself, to be healthy. And I'm so proud of you, and you should be proud. Yeah. You should be proud. And I know it's been tough, and I know there's been days.
It is so hard of like trying to fight, you know, body image, problems. And then on top of that, you know, you go into this new lifestyle of being like, you know, a reality star, public figure, whatever you want to call it, you know, and then trying to find joy and being yourself. And my confidence has always been up here. Yeah. But I think this year I was just broken at the beginning of this year going into, you know, March and feeling like, what's the word? Just feeling like I'm not happy. I realized like I'm really not happy with myself. And I think that a lot of my depression and how I was feeling was going into my eating and how I felt and how I looked. And I would cover it up. I was good at hiding my weight. I was good at, you know, covering certain body parts or putting people in front of me so you don't really see a lot. And I think, you know, I quit smoking and I just got myself together. But it's just, it is so difficult when you're going through this journey, and it still is hard. It's not easy. Like, I look at myself every day in the mirror and I'm like, I want this gone, this needs to be pulled and things like that. But when I do have those small wins, I try to, you know, harp on it because it keeps me motivated. But with you being there for me mentally, like, people don't get it. Like, even you being miles away from me mentally, you have helped me so much. And I'm just happy to be here, but it's cruel when you look at the comments and people call you so many nasty names and people, you know, always tell you you're never going to compete because you're fat and you're this. No one's ever going to call you and things like that. Nobody wants you. It really does hit you, but I'm not doing the weight loss journey for all of that. I'm doing it for myself so I can finally feel comfortable in my skin, comfortable in my community, because being gay, it's so judgmental. It's so hard. And I just want to find my love that matches my personality so then I can be happy there. Because I haven't been happy in a very, very long time. I still think I'm like, I'm okay, but I'm not like all the way there. So, okay. Enough about this because we got to get to Survivor. This was not what they're supposed to do. I love you so much. This was not what it's supposed to be about. You just always, that's your problem. That's your problem. You always good at getting somebody when they're off guard. Because I was not expecting to be crying on the episode.
You the one showed up in a muscle shirt and then gonna lean back like this and with the arms all cut. I seen the little shoulder ridges and stuff. See, my arms don't do that. I just got
it does. Look at that. Look at your clavicles.
No, clavicle. Come on, let's go back to Survivor. We just got
Okay, so yes. Okay, so then Rachel tells him, hey, Teeny and Sam are going up to make this fire. So, you know, they're sitting there, and I hope that you can give us the full theatrical of this. This fire, Teeny gets it started. Teeny gets it started maybe like 1, 2, 3. It
Yep.
started. She's feeding it and she's going. And this fire is.
You know what? And I'm going to tell you who helped him. Jeff coached him all the way. And it takes 3 things to start a fire. It takes the mercury from the this. It takes the spark from the heat of the flint. It takes the oxygen. And it takes the something else. And then you have to get it going. And once you get it going, you don't want to blow too hard. You don't want it to have too much of this. You've got your fire. Once you get your fire going, you need to build it with some sticks. Then you need to get it up to the rope. And then you have to get the fire to go straight. Oh, it's got to go straight. And if you want to make it tall, I got to make it tall. And then I said, Jeff,
You got to nurse it.
You have to. I ain't
nurse
never
it.
seen Jeff. Jeff knew that they didn't know how to make fire. Jeff said, well, I guess I'm going to have to host. Jeff wasn't quiet at all. Sometimes he be talking about something else. And on Survivor, this is what we do. No, on Survivor. And then once you get one stick, then you have to add another. Got to add another stick. And then, look at Sam. Sam is still striking his flint. You have to angle your flint at the angle to get it to angle it at the side. And then once he started talking about Sam, you have to hit it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then Teeny looks over at Rachel. Now what do I do?
Right.
Just do what you're doing. Right. Okay, do what am I doing? I'm doing it right. And then now Sam's going to try to get a little spark. He's got a spark. He's got to get some oxygen on him. And then he's got to add a stick to it. Where's my sticks? I said, damn.
He basically told them how to do it from top, everything. But here's the crazy part. Even though Jeff is telling them everything to do, there is nothing that can control the wind. This season has been the most windiest season. You know how they say the windiest city is Chicago?
Yeah.
Baby, Chicago was there.
Jeff said, I'm going to help them, but turn on that fan. Turn on the wind.
Yes, because let me tell you something. This win has been the curse for all of them. How many challenges Sue has lost because of the win? The win is crazy, and I felt so bad because let me tell you something. Teeny had a bonfire at this point.
Teeny had a fire.
She could have cooked hot dogs on it at this point.
She did. But one of the things that Jeff kept reiterating is you have to build it tall because it has to reach this rope. And Teeny was having a tough time trying to figure out how to build the fire to angle to her rope. It's not about getting a fire to start. We can start a fire, we can get it to burn, but the fire can't just bellow here or it can't just be going over here. You have to figure out how to stick those twigs in there to build. You need like a teepee. Take me on Survivor so I can make fire. But Sam wasn't sure how to necessarily start a fire, but he had a better strategy for once he got his fire started, how to build it up. Teeny's fire was ready to blow somebody's hair off. It was blowing every which way but the right
to the
way.
jury at this point. I thought
Teeny's fire was gonna blow Sam's was gonna light his rope because Teeny's fire is leaning this way and it is blowing right towards Sam's rope. And Sam's, for whatever that wind was doing, it wasn't hitting Sam's fire because while Teeny's fire is doing this, Sam's fire is doing this.
Yes. I was pretty
And you
shocked.
can't use all of those twigs. You can't use all of that hash because once it's burnt out, that's it. It's rationed out. You only get a certain amount. Let me start pulling mine apart. Just add a little. What else, Jeff? Jeff! What else?
Because I'm so glad you said that, Tim, because I think I was so distracted with the fire that I heard a bunch of talking from Jeff, but I'm glad you put out what he was saying.
Everything. He had the whole little strategy. And you need 3 things to make a fire. Okay, I got my 3 things. You need wind. You need that was on it. And then Teeny was like, come on, Jeff, you talking to, don't talk to Sam, talk to me.
Yes, and I really felt bad because then Sam starts obviously doing everything that Jeff said again, and Sam ends up getting his fire and gets it tall. And now it's like Teeny and him are now, this fire is touching this rope.
And there's nothing that they could do about it.
There's nothing.
because remember, it is a fire. Teeny can't stick her hands in the fire and re-angle her twigs. This fire is burning. And so, like, and you can tell how hot it is because she's kind of like standing back. She can only, once that fire gets blazing, there's only so many times that you can go in and add to it because it is a real fire. So if you don't build it right at the beginning, you don't have control over it. And Sam had his fire. And first of all, let's just say Sam was at least 2 whole minutes behind Teeny.
2, 3, girl. At this point, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Because by the time Jeff was running out of things to say, he's like, all right, and in the fire, and you could do some more to the fire. Because I was at this point, he's like, let's just talk to the jury at this point. How's everybody doing? What's everybody's thoughts? Because at this point, this fire is going on.
Here's everybody.
He still didn't have the fire.
Everybody in the jury is like this. Everybody in the jury. Everybody in the jury is like. They act like they had never even seen a fire. That might have been people's first time watching a fire made, because everybody is just like, they don't know what to expect. You got 2 fires burning. They are both hitting the rope, but one of them's leaning this way and one of them's going this way. And one of them's really big and wild, and one of them is just burning.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. Sam ends up getting it. I'm shocked. Sam gets it, and I'm not going to lie. I felt, for the first time, I usually don't feel bad for Teeny, but I felt bad for Teeny because she had the fire longer, 5 minutes before Sam did, and that damn wind and how she built it was not in her favor. And I felt so bad because it was there. It was burning the rope. It just was not burning one spot. It was just burning little dots all over. It needed to constantly burn in one spot to break the rope. And Sam gets it. And let me tell you something. I gagged. I was like, whoa. And as Jeff said, this is the craziest in history fire that we have ever had in Survivor history. You never know what you're going to get on Survivor.
Sam winning.
You told them how to do it. And because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, it was like...
Jeff said, one thing I can't do is get up to fire and nobody makes a fire. We're not going to be here all night. So I'm going to talk you through it and somebody going to have to win it. But I can't be here. And can you imagine 2 people get up there to make fire and nothing happens? Jeff's like, we don't have that much time. I done rented this booth and I got to go. But Sam winning that fire making challenge is a true testament to Sam's game, his journey throughout this entire season, whereas when his back is against the wall, he gives it his all. Anytime that Sam has not won a challenge, he should never lay down feeling defeated. He should always go to sleep with the mindset and saying to himself, I gave it everything I had. It just wasn't my turn to win that, because he gives it everything. And that fireman, I honestly, to me, it was like, may the best person win this. And Sam just was he was the better person at that time to win that fire making challenge. He when he needs to bet on himself, he can bet on himself.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So we get to I just want to kind of, and I might jump around a little bit.
Yeah.
Stop me. We get to the, now it's Sue, Sam, Rachel, and the final 3. It's time for the jury questions. I don't really remember a lot of their questions. I think I remember, was it Caroline's question? Because Caroline's question, she said something and it went on and on for Caroline's question.
The very first question was from, I think it was Gabe, which was, how do you want your game to be remembered? I'm really impressed with myself. I ain't take no notes.
I know. My notes are done. I stopped after the fire.
I got no notes. But it was, how do you want your game? How do you think? Yeah, it was like, not hope or want, but how do you think your game will be remembered? And they asked Rachel first. And, Rachel went, I think that her answers kind of started off cold a little bit.
They did.
And, she was like, I think I'll be remembered as being like the underdog. And Sam didn't really like that. And I could tell that he felt like she stole my answer because he wants to be the underdog. And she's, but then she ends it with, but I don't really care how my game will be remembered. And, a lot of people, that was the only tarnish for me in Rachel's whole season, because even though she may have meant that, everybody doesn't have to know what you think, because most of the people in that jury probably do care about how their game will be remembered. That's why people play the way that they play, to be memorialized. And so I don't know how that response went with the jury, but Sam countered back with, his response of, I was the underdog and I had all these things against me and I and I did like that. And then Sue came out and let everybody know that today was her 59th birthday. She is not in her 40s. And I said, baby girl, if they thought me and you was in the same generation, then that is something wrong.
What was their reaction? Let me tell you something. Their reaction.
I think that they were not expecting her to be 59.
No. I don't think they were shocked. Okay? I think their reaction was like this. That's nice.
Don't do Sue.
I listen, love Sue. She does 59. Let me tell you something. 59 years old, she's doing things that I know moms, like people her age, can't do.
And I'll say this. What looking, feeling, and acting are three totally different things. I do think she looks well. I think she looks great for 59, but I don't know that they were that surprised to find out that she was a little older than she said. But her abilities and her skills and the way she got out there and competed with people that are her children's age is impeccable. It is impressive, and it is something to be said, because I look at my own self and I'm like, Sue, girl, you killed it.
No, she did. 100%. I'm going to give Sue credit. I love that she was there. Love that she did things that I never thought somebody would do her age. And I'm just so proud of her. So proud of her. But, I just want to kind of get to things I remember. I remember Sue had to explain, I think Caroline was like, or Caroline asked a question of like, what was your biggest mistake or your biggest something? And I remember Sue going, my biggest mistake was you, Andy. I'm so sorry, but I regret trusting you more than 3 times, because Sweet Carolyn was, you end up getting rid of Sweet Carolyn. It was just very upset.
And then I trusted you again.
And I trusted you again. And then there's like a long pause, and here comes Andy. That's nice.
I need to be more like Andy.
Oh my God, he's such a savage.
Andy
would kill
is
me.
If you look up always leave them wanting more, it's Andy.
It's Andy. Because he's like, I'm going to get a call back to something. I ain't giving y'all nothing.
But
nice. I do want to say this. Another part, I did like the fact that Andy was, I got to call Bryce back. I did like the fact that Andy also was like, hey, Rachel, you're a big fan. Like, giving references of other people in the game. Also, wait, I forgot to mention, Rachel also is the 4th woman in Survivor history to win 4 immunity challenges, which then puts her down in history, which I love that. That is great and well-deserved. Well-deserved. Comp beast. And I like that the comps, once again, Survivor has the most fairest comps to me. I don't care what every other show. I know I love Big Brother. I know we're Big Brother family. I know we got the challenge, all that. Traders, everything. But Survivor has the most fairest challenge. There's always something physical, a puzzle, something mental, all into one. So it's like, baby, you got to be good at all 3 of them to get to this spot, which I love that. But I loved his question to Rachel, and it really just set up Rachel to like be able to explain, what type of game player she is. Another part that I didn't care for, and this is why I said I never cared for Kyle. Kyle killed me with the whole like, with Sam, like, you have to do what you have to do to get here. like like trying to give Sam like a slogan to use to why he's here now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, that's interesting to me. But that's the only call outs I have. Did I miss anything you feel like we should address?
Well, before, the jury cut to this tribal, one of the key or most common opinions I was hearing about how they would make their determination about a winner is someone owning their game. They needed each person who was in the final three to own the game that they played, and I think that that was a very important tool for them, because you have someone like Rachel who is a little more humble in her in her accolades, whereas she's not a braggadocious type of person about what she's done. And it seems as if the jury needs someone to say, this is what I did. This is how I got here. And not, they didn't want that a meek winner who could not articulate how they got to this moment. And Sam went on to have a very impeccable pitch as to why he should be the winner of season 47. He talked about being an underdog, how he connected himself to to Andy, how he brought up that
he lost his ally Sierra.
He lost his ally Sierra, and how he came up with this make a fake idol and made a fake idol to trick Rachel. And him and Rachel had a nice back and forth about, but it didn't matter. We didn't believe that idol. And Teenie from the jury was defending Rachel and saying, well, Rachel and Sue didn't believe it anyway. So even if you did come up with this fake idol, it also didn't work because your intended purpose was to get out your target, and your target is still sitting here right next to you. Mm-hmm. And Rachel revealed how she crawled in the sand to overhear their conversation. And Sam is really, really good at being quick on his feet with his thinking, because I would have, in that moment, I could tell that was the first time he'd heard that. I probably would have been a little stuck in my head thinking it over about how I could come back from this. And he immediately says, this is why men can't be trusted. He says, well, that was that conversation was coerced anyway. That wasn't even a real, that was a lot. And she's like, but no, it wasn't, because Teenie actually revealed something about me in that moment that you didn't know. So it wasn't that much of a ruse when she was revealing information about me having a block of vote advantage that you didn't know. So that let me know right then and there that Teenie was against me. So I had to restructure my game plan and my allies in that moment. And that's when I definitely made my connection with Sue, which is why she's sitting here. It was a great pitch, and Sue's pitch was, I'll be the oldest woman to have one survivor. I get to go tell my 5-year-old grandson that you can do anything that you put your mind to. No one can tell you that you're too old or too little or too this or too that to do anything. If that's what you want to do, you go out there and you work hard to get it. That hard work does pay off. And so I think that they all had great pitches and great stories behind being a survivor in 47 that would make for a great winner. Any one of them, I was just like not knowing. I can't say I wasn't sure who they would choose, because most of those questions were filtered to Sam and Rachel. I
think it was great, and you're right. Sam was able to be quick with it, which I do appreciate. But also, Rachel was right there with him, and I love that she was like, "Baby, I had to use the idol. I used my block of vote. I already knew this. I crawled in the sand. I planned this. I had an alliance with this. This is what happened. Saul helped me. When Saul helped me, that allowed me to do this. I had this. I love it." And Sue did She tried her best, and not saying that Sue didn't have a good game because she lost all her allies. She was very loyal. She's a very loyal player. She's somebody who I would love to play the game with, who would have been loyal to me, and I would have been loyal to her. And it was just good to see. But after that time, Tiffany, what happens next?
Well, it's time to vote. It's time.
And at this time, there is nothing to help these votes.
No.
And these votes start counting, and he goes, Rachel, Sam. I go, who the hell voted Sam?
Well, when I saw Rachel Sam, I said, well, I know I'm going to get a Sue in there. If we voting for our friends, I know Sue got a vote coming.
That's what I said. I'm like, who voted for Sam? Because at this point, it should be a clear it should have been a clear, boop, Rachel.
Well, maybe somebody. Okay.
I think I know who it was. Kyle. Because you did what you had to do to be here. Those men. That's the men right there. That's the type of men that we be talking about in these gameplays where we be like, okay, girl, it's giving that. But after reading the votes,
Rachel from Southfield.
No, say how you say. Rachel from motherfucking Southfield.
Rachel from Southfield came
Michigan.
through.
She did.
She won. She didn't win unanimously, I think, because Kyle didn't want her to win unanimously.
Oh, I think Kyle, and then I think...
No, he only had one vote.
No, I think he had two. Somebody else voted for him. Probably
I don't think so,
because
Sam asked. Jeff asked. Jeff was like, who voted for Sam? And then Kyle was like, and he was like, why? I don't know. I was driving and listening, but I will say...
While you're doing that, let me just look it up, because I feel like
It was such an emotional moment for me. I am always happy to see people win. There's something inside of me that when people win, I somehow feel like I won too. Like I get so excited about someone else's success. I was just so happy for Rachel. She talked about how, she does not usually own her accomplishments, and she does well in her normal life, her real life outside of this. She does well, but she doesn't own those things. They just are what she has accomplished. And she talked about how her husband she's been channeling him and using the words that he would be saying to her to help get her through this game. But she also looks at him as a person who is also great in his craft and in his skill, and how he is a person who also doesn't see himself as being as great as he is. And she said she hopes to take this win home and say, you are great, and hopes that he will see the greatness inside of him, and that she can be proud of herself and own this moment that I am also doing phenomenal things. I did this me on my own here, from starting off with from the bottom to enemy of the state, to trying to, with no allies and being on the wrong side of everything and people just after me and I'm the target, to I had to save my own butt. I had to win immunity after immunity. It was such a great story. I cried. I was so emotional about it because it's something that's relatable. I think we all can find the relatability in her story and in all of them, but there was a part of her journey that was so relatable, and sometimes we're afraid to pat ourselves on the back and say, you did that, you did a good job, but we have to do that. Sometimes all you have is you that believes in you. And if you don't believe in you and nobody else is believing in you, who's motivating you? Who believes in you? Where does your strength come from? It is okay to look in the mirror and say to yourself, you did that. I'm proud of you. You won, you accomplished, you made it, you tried, you did it. It's okay. We have to stop being afraid to encourage and motivate ourselves. And we have to stop dimming our light so other people can shine. I don't have to dim my light. If I'm a bright star, you are a bright star too. We can shine together. It's okay. And I think that was the testament of her story, is that I'm going to learn to be proud of myself and not hide my accomplishments because I worked to get here. And that's it.
You know what, Tiffany? You put it all in one take. I can't follow up with that. That was beautiful. And I do want people to listen to at least one part that I really love that you said. Listen to the whole thing. But you need to believe in yourself, and you got to give yourself credit. So we don't, like, a lot of us don't give ourselves credit because we're so hard on ourselves. And that's a prime testament. And Rachel is a phenomenal winner. I have not felt emotional about winners like that until it was Rachel. And I love that. She was somebody we watch just go through everything to get there. And those are the type of winners we love. Of course, we understand there's going to be times when people dominate the game. Dominate. You know, and they might make it to the end and win. It's like, good, yeah, they deserved it, great. But when you can actually feel, like, really get that character and see that character development, it was great. 47 was a great season. I enjoyed it. Thank you, Survivor 47. We did get our sneak peek for Survivor 48. I'm excited. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The men look good.
The men look good.
Yeah, the men look good that season. I was like, okay.
Think we are going to have some villains in this season.
Oh, okay. Oh, we'll find out in the springtime. But I also think, Tiff, now that you said that, I think we're gonna and like I said, I love a trend. Our last couple winners of Survivors have been, I mean, I love Jam Jam. He's a male, but, you know, he's a gay. I'm going to say it's been all women. It's been like all women winners. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe going into 48, we get another women winner, or the men look kind of like they might be a little bit, like you said, villains and might even make it to the end type of thing. So we'll see.
Trying to.
I think the last 6 winners of Survivor have been 5 in Jam Jam.
I do understand how people like representation, and they want to see a person that represents something that they can identify with win. I like to be more neutral, and I genuinely don't care if you're male, female, black, white, green, purple, gay, straight, hetero, pan. I don't.
Yep.
I just really want to see someone who plays this game. That's what I want to see. I want to see a game player. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody. Some people may not like that, but if I go through my life just boxing my expectations up, I may end up disappointed, and I don't like disappointment. The one thing I can try to expect is somebody will play a phenomenal game, and I can cheer for that.
Can I just say this? I do agree with you on that 100%. I feel that way about Survivor. I feel that way about shows that have had different winners. Shows that have not had a lot of different winners, aka Big Brother, is a prime example. I don't really feel that way. But now at this point, now that we've had a couple of different winners, I don't care. Like, I'm like you. A gamer, whoever wins. Now
I would like to see the game played. And fair is such a word that you can't use in the context to describe how these games should be played. I don't mean play the game fairly. I mean the equal treatment of people as just human beings fair. And so if the show can be have an equal treatment of people, then I would hope to have I don't care if the game is played unfairly, like cheat, backstab, lie. Yeah. But if you're playing, and people will call that contradictory of me and be like, well, you wanted to play with all of the black people. And in that season, in that moment, I sure did. Yes, that was that. But and that's because of the history of the game. But Survivor, I don't know the history that much, but I do understand. I do understand American history, and I know that a lot of cultures have been swept under the rug, pushed to the back, eliminated, and I don't like to see that. I would hope that if we can get to a point where people are treated equally, then we can get some real game that way, regardless of what this makeup of this person is who won. I can genuinely appreciate this person as a winner based on how this game was played. But, you know, I think that we still have a long way to go.
We still have a long way to go. Tiffany, now that we're closing out, this is our last episode, guys, of 2024. Do you have anything you would like to say to close out for 2024?
You know, I want to send a big shout out and a huge thank you to each and every subscriber and all the viewers who have listened, who have watched, who have supported, who've shared, who've retweeted, who've hearted, who've just sent us messages, even the people who don't always agree. You had to watch it to know if you would disagree or agree. And so I appreciate that. Derek and I literally don't get money from this. We don't do it for the money. We do it because it's something that we enjoy. We do it because we know we have people who support us, who want to continue to see our journey, to see our growth, to hear our opinions, to just watch shows. And we know it allows you the opportunity to feel like you're watching with us. I want to say thank you, because Heavy Crown Network would not be anything without our subscribers and our viewers. So thank you for that. And just, Derek, it's always, I can't thank you enough for what you do to make Heavy Crown and Royalty successful, because you are the brains behind this operation. I am just the personality. I show up and I do what I'm told. You do a phenomenal job of scheduling, getting our guests, getting the notes, getting the timestamps, editing the videos, dropping in the everything that you all see, everything that you hear is all Derek Frazier. He has done a phenomenal job of stepping up to the plate and making sure that we are consistent, that we show up for our viewers and subscribers. And I thank you for that. I love you for that. And sometimes people who have not stayed consistent with our journey will find out that we're friends or that we have a show, and they say, wow, how? I can't believe that. And I can't even explain it other than you have to meet people where they are. And if they tell you that they want to go to a better place, and you're willing to see them through with that and to help them with that, then you just have to trust that. And we did that. And that's why we're here. And I love you.
I love you so much, Tiffany. And don't get it twisted, Tiffany. You bring a lot to the show. I tell you all the time. Tiffany is the face of Heavy Crown Royalty podcast. No, I tell her all the time. People want to hear you. And you have so much knowledge. I know sometimes I'm like, damn, I don't want you to say too much because I want you to keep it because you're so damn smart and you're such a gamer, and so like you just think logic, and I love hearing it. People don't understand, like, you're getting golden nuggets here. You know, you might sit there and listen to other podcasts and stuff like that and everybody else talk their shit, but this woman right here, golden nuggets, will tell you exactly how to get through a game and what to do. So when you guys are like, I want to be prepared for Big Brother or Survivor or Traders or whatever the challenge, listen to her. She will help you. I'm telling you.
They could be like, that loser, she ain't won nothing.
It don't mean nothing, because it's not always about that. It's about how you maneuver in the game, because it might end you up in the final 2 chairs, final 3 chairs, or final 4. We don't know, depending on these shows. But I just want to say, yes, to piggyback, thank you guys for coming back, subscribing, always supporting us. We are, we do everything, like Tiffany said, we don't get paid for nothing. We do this for you guys. And please remember to just keep on sharing. We're trying to work on and do more. And we hope that you guys have a happy holidays. Yeah. Please keep in mind, yes, we will be back for the year of 2025. We will see you guys in the new year. And we are going to do a whole cast breakdown. I know Tiffany's like, he didn't even tell me this, but we're telling you now. We're going to do a whole cast breakdown where we tell you guys who each player is from Traders, where they're from, what they're known for, and us talking our shit and giving you our feedback. So, I do.
Oh, okay.
And Tiffany's here to put me in line. But we will do that the first week in January sometime. We'll let you know. Just make sure you have your notifications on so you can be ready. Tiffany, I love you so much. Have a safe flight. Thank you for staying. Bye, guys. See you.
Happy holidays.
Happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and everything else.